Speaking of weird, you
Yes.
have the next pick. Is that another adjective that's going to be used for next month?
Ever heard of Jess Franco?
Just Franco?
Jess
Oh, Jess Franco.
Jesus Franco.
Jesus Franco. No. Mm-mm.
He's one of those. He's a Spanish director. Jess Franco is a contemporary of Mario Bava.
Oh,
He's kind of a messed up director, and I found a movie that it's French.
okay.
It's got vampires in it.
I'm not surprised.
It's got female vampires in it.
I'm also not surprised.
And it's on Tubi.
I'm not surprised.
It's called Daughter of Dracula. Like I said,
Never seen this.
it's Jess Franco movie. We'll talk about Jess next month a little bit because he's someone in the horror community should know, much like Bava.
Mario Bava.
Yeah. He's just one of those guys.
Interesting.
He's done
Okay.
a lot of really interesting things. But Daughter of Dracula. It's in French, so you're gonna have to watch subtitles. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And there's women vampires. There seems to be if you follow the Give Me Back squad, there's a theme that I've got.
There's
going
a theme running. Yeah, you got to type, Pete.
I do.
This video contains explicit material not suitable for children.
The time is 5 minutes to 12, midnight. There is no more darkness.
Shrunkzilla! Starring the Shrunken Head.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Please settle down. Pete, can you believe the crowd tonight? They must have really loved that very first episode. Thank you all so much.
We did shockingly well. Thank you
We
all so
did.
very much. I can't thank you all so much. You downloaded us, you listened to us. We'll see what episode 2 goes.
Yeah, we'll see how this evening goes on episode 2 of After Hours Cinema Review with Anna and Pete, or AHCRAP for short, as Pete lovingly came up with that acronym. It's so fitting and perfect. I mean, I just can't.
Kinda, yeah.
It is. So tonight it's my turn behind the driving wheel, the hosting wheel, I guess. I'm a little nervous, I guess, because I have a lot of questions and I don't feel like as prepared. I mean, I'm prepared, but you know what I mean? I guess because everything's so gray, I don't feel prepared.
I think I'm going to ask you as many questions as you're going to ask me because this movie, let's talk about it. So please continue.
We'll get, no, you're fine. We'll get into it. This is Pete's very first pick. It's Daughter of Dracula from 1972, written and directed by Jesus Franco. I believe you said he is a French filmmaker. This was a French movie.
He's somewhere between. He's in that Southern European, so he's done a lot of his stuff is both French and Spanish.
Oh, okay.
He even dips his toe a little bit into Italian, but he's prolific. So I will say something about him in just a little bit. Please continue.
Sounds good. Yeah, this was the first time I had ever heard of this, the first time I'd ever watched this, and ironically enough, like I did go on YouTube to try to see if anyone else reviewed this, just to hear their thoughts, and I found nothing.
It's like
nothing.
You got to dig hard
on YouTube. I was like, damn, we might be the very first movie review of this on YouTube, if that's possible. Unless I just got to dig further. But I was seeing a lot of stuff for Dracula's Daughter, which is the Universal Abigail movie. That story's kind of in the Abigail movie, the vampire movie from 2024, I believe. I loved that movie. So yeah, Pete, do you want to tell us a little bit about like why you picked this, why you wanted to bring it to After Hours?
Okay, so and I fucked up. So I knew you were going to Whorehound, which we can talk about that a little later.
Yeah,
too.
we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah. So I saw Britt Nichols. Britt Nichols, is that right? Britt Nichols. I saw her name on the cast list, and my brain done turned it around and thought it was Brett Eccles.
Brett
Eklund, thank you, who was in The Wicker Man, and she was also a Bond girl.
Yeah.
And was also making an appearance at Whorehound. So that's why I picked this movie, because I thought it was a different person. And then when I brought it up last month
on the episode, I remember
on the
that.
episode, I went oh shit. Well,
wait.
Well,
wrong Brit.
Let's wrong Brit.
We're roll with it. Fuck it. Let's go.
So fuck it. We rolled with it. I knew this was a Jesus Franco. I knew this was a film that he had written, produced, and directed. So I knew we were in for a treat. As I read more and more about this, which you're not wrong, it's hard to find information about Daughter of Dracula. It's not one of his famous ones. It's not one of the ones. I've even read something where a fan of Jess Franco said this might not be one to start with if you're into the Jess Franco movies.
Oh, okay. Interesting. What else has he done? Let's see.
Jess Franco is prolific. He has had over 200 directing credits and over 180 writing credits. A lot of these overlap, of course. He's
Revenge of the Alligator Ladies.
Yeah. He is a low budget, quick. He's the Roger Corman of Southern Europe movie making.
That sounds like the perfect way to describe him.
Yeah. I've seen Vampiros Lesbos before. So that's another.
I've heard of that. I've heard you talk about that, I believe.
Yeah.
That's how I know about it.
And he really did try to ape, is the ape the right word? He didn't copy either. He just tried to create Hammer movies in Southern Europe. In Spain, France, and Italy. I mean, they're all kind of right there, jumbled up. So when one was released, it would get released in all three countries, and quite frequently would get different titles. So if you see, like, the Countess Dracula is also called something else, is called something else, is called something else. Bruno Mattei, that happened to him. All those old Italian horror directors, and I'm blanking on all of them, and I am going to turn in my horror card now because I am blanking on the big boys. Gosh darn it. I knew this was going to happen.
From Jesus Franco?
Jesus Franco, Jess Franco is, as he's known, more.
Well, those are that's who you're blanking on the horror movies from?
No.
Or you're talking about Bruno Mattei?
Bruno Mattei, but you're also looking at Suspiria.
Argento, Mario Bava, Lucio Fulci.
Thank you. There's the floodgates just opened up.
Yeah, Viva Fulci.
Fulci. He's grouped into these directors. However, he's not necessarily their level of artistic output. He's more the Roger Corman of these kind of directors, whereas he kind of
like the Eli Roth.
Yeah. He was very much very exploitative of a director. His gore was on a smaller level because his budgets were way smaller, but he ramped up the sexploitation clearly in this movie.
Yeah.
And I did mention Countess Dracula, which is considered one of his better films. And I caution you, dear listeners, to watch Countess Dracula, I think it was. If you watch the uncut version, it's straight up porn. It's within the 5 minutes, there is a very, very full frontal fellatio. It's and it was
Penetration, everything.
yeah. It
Oh
was.
my gosh!
I was not expecting it because I looked around. You can find Countess Dracula pretty easily, but I'm like, oh, I heard that there was this director's cut that's even more exploitive, and I found it on archive.org. And 5 minutes in, I turned it off. I'm like, this is not for me. I like the Randy movies. I like the ones that
too
are
much. Too much.
Yeah, it was like full on pornography. Like, oh my God.
Dear.
Dear goodness. And it wasn't, it was porno. See, the difference between the movies that I like, the dirty movies that Dirty Captain Horror Brew here likes, I like them dirty and fun versus this is sex on the screen. Like,
right. Yeah.
There are better ways to see that.
Yeah.
Better and easier ways to do that. Whereas like in this movie or even in like Vampires that we covered that we covered with Spoils of Horror back on the Give Me Back show, that was
Wait, we didn't cover that with them. They covered it after us, right?
both. Oh no,
They weren't on that
we
episode?
covered it and then I covered it with them.
That's
All
right.
mixed up.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I was like, wait, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that was fun. Softcore porn. That was a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
Even like hentai common, that was a lot of fun. No nudity at all in that, but just very suggestive themes. But then you see this that is full frontal
Everything.
it's just I mean
no surprises.
penis in mouth. It was oh dear
My
Lord. That's not what I
goodness.
was, and I wasn't expecting it. When they said there's some extra dirtiness in it, I'm like, okay, I'll see. I'll watch that. Oh goodness.
Extra dirtiness and porn are two
So
very
dirty.
different things.
There's like I don't know. There's like dirty old man and there's pervert, right?
Right. Yeah. There's a big difference.
I'm more dirty old man than I am pervert, I think.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yeah, you are. You're not a pervert at all. So this movie, Daughter of Dracula, it is a quick watch. I'll give it that. It's an hour and
81 minutes.
27 minutes. Yeah. The synopsis says Louisa visits her dying mother at Karlstein Castle. Before she dies, she tells Louisa that the Karlsteins are a family of vampires and that her ancestor, the original Count Karlstein, lies buried in the crypt.
Mhm.
Now, that I feel like I see that at the beginning, like when she meets her mom,
Mhm.
and then the rest I get
Huh.
so confused on and all over the place. I'm like, okay, I'm following along. She's
So-
here. So, like, first of all, when she first gets there, and so the Louisa is the blonde, right? That's the vampire.
Yes, and I think she's already a vampire. Like
Okay.
that was on my first watch. I thought she went down to her grandfather's tomb, who is the vampire Karlstein,
Uh-huh.
and maybe he turned her. But there's a scene at the very beginning of the movie where this woman taking a bath is attacked, and I think that's her.
Yeah.
I
That
think
was
that's
her
Louisa.
attacking.
Mm-hmm.
I got that vibe too.
So she's already a vampire, and her mother is dying,
Uh-huh.
and she comes back to her deathbed, and mom tells daughter that grandpa is a vampire. But I think she's already a vampire, so maybe
Yeah,
she's
so
just,
maybe it's kind of like, I don't know, if you think like,
did it skip mom?
or maybe, yeah, if you think like generational, I don't know, my mind goes to werewolf. I think of Wednesday, the
yes.
show Wednesday with the
Mhm.
Lupins. You know, sometimes it'll skip a generation, sometimes it'll take them longer to wolf out. So, like, maybe she hit puberty and turned into a vampire or something, and maybe mom didn't realize it because she hasn't been around. But then the lady that she sees, you know, she hugs her when she first gets there, right before she
Karen.
talks to her mom. And she's like, "Oh, you're my cousin."
Mhm.
That's who
Yep.
she's screwing, right?
That's absolutely who she's screwing.
I was like, I know I caught that right.
Yeah, yeah, you caught that right. You caught that absolutely right. So Karen, yeah, the first Karen, something like that.
yeah.
She walks in. Lucia walks in and sees her cousin, long lost cousin, and they have a history, not a sexual history, but they even through the movie they're talking like, oh, do you remember the time I plucked out the bird's eye with a needle?
Uh-huh.
Oh shit. What?
Reliving stories, yeah.
Right. And they do turn into lovers. And I think Lucia does, as she is a vampire, I do think she has some hypnotic powers to her. It's not really, you don't get the doodle 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 at all, but it seems like it's things are very easy for her to do as far as drawing people into her and leading people into bed or
Well,
leading
yeah.
people into the tomb and
I
things like
thought that too. Think back to what was it, The Vampire Lovers?
Mhm.
And that what we covered, yeah, she was kind of the same way in that. She
Mhm.
had that ability over people. So maybe
Did you notice the last name in The Vampire Lovers and the last name in this movie?
no.
So this is in this film, Karlstein. In The Vampire Lovers, it's Karnstein.
Oh, Karnstein. Yeah, okay.
So there is a series of books out, and
the Karnstein trilogy.
and it's
right?
about the Karnstein vampire. It's maybe it's just a book. I'm turning in my Monster Kid card here. Ugh.
Nah.
There is a novel out there that follows a female vampire, and her last name is Karnstein, and that's where a lot of these lesbian vampire movies, sapphic, if you want to call it, sapphic vampire movies
Yeah.
come out. I like sapphic a little better than lesbian, but anywho, yeah. So Karnstein is the name in the novel, translated over to not translated, but brought over into the Hammer series, the Hammer trilogy. What is it? Vampire Lovers, Lust for Vampire, and Twins of Evil. Those are all Karnstein vampires.
Okay.
And this is Karlstein, which is a clear nod to the book and that wing of vampire lore, I suppose.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, because now that you say Karnstein, that does sound a lot like Karlstein.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so like after this, I guess, and it does make sense with that being her at the start too, because she's just kind of leaving a trail of bodies.
Yeah.
Wherever she goes, as vampires do. But very, very little gore, like you mentioned earlier as well. I mean, it's just like you get bit on the neck and there's some blood on your neck.
Not
and
even a
that's
puncture
it.
mark. Even try.
Yeah, it's as low budget as you can get. But I mean, I don't fault it for that. But then I really like where we kind of follow these detectives and it's kind of a mystery as to what's like there's kind of a whole other story going on other than just the vampires.
Yeah, I feel like Jess Franco wanted to make a giallo. If you're familiar with the giallo genre,
it feels very giallo. That's the exact thoughts I had.
It's not really black glove knife sort of person, but there's a mystery behind this. There is a there's a detective that is just collecting a paycheck. This guy does not want to be here.
No, at all.
And then there's a reporter, and this is like, there's a reporter, there's beautiful women, and there's a cast of suspects. This is a giallo that happens to have vampires in it.
Yeah, I really like that.
It almost pulls it off, and it's just sadly so very confusing that there's so many dead ends in this.
Well, and okay, here's the real bitch of the movie, and it honestly is how shitty the subtitles are. They're absolutely terrible. I mean, there is a lot of dialogue in this that I feel like is not accounted for because there's no subtitles for it, and I don't understand the language. So sometimes there's scenes where they're talking to each other and there's no subtitles, and I'm just trying to like gather emotions on faces and like how people are feeling. Are they mad? Did they find a clue, or something like that? So I think that's really partially where a lot of my confusion comes in, is just having trouble following along with like the little breadcrumbs and and the mystery of who done it, because the guy ends up being the count, right?
So there's the count, the grandfather is still alive, dead
Uh-huh.
alive, whatever.
Yeah.
But then there's the patriarch of the castle, who is the official patriarch, who is alive. He is human, and yeah, he's a major suspect in these killings. But so yeah, so that's another layer of confusing, where there are two Karlstein counts. One's
Right.
in the coffin at all times, and one is running around with a cane, uh, having an affair with the hotel lady,
Uh-huh.
the hotel owner,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah.
which was a very, well, yeah, okay, you're gonna do that, huh? But that's how we
Mm-hmm.
get him out of being a suspect, I suppose, by the end of the film, because
Yeah.
he's having relations with the hotel gal.
Mm-hmm. And that one
Um,
lady they meet at the hotel, that blonde that has that sexy like burlesque scene in
mhm.
the basement. Um, I liked her, and then I really liked that whole, like, the sexy scene in the burlesque basement.
Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked that. It was odd, and I actually did like that this was made in 72 and there was women there watching, and, I
Hmm.
thought that was interesting. Um, but I mean, eh, what's odd to me is not to someone else, so I'm not judging as far as that's concerned. But I was just like, okay. And once again, it's the 70s. But then I love the transition of like, and there's no dialogue in that scene too. It made me think of, oddly enough, A Shot in the Dark, the Peter Sellers
Oh,
Pink
Peter
Panther
Sellers,
movie.
yeah, the
Yeah. So
Pink Panther
whenever,
#2.
yes, whenever he's taking Marie Gambrelli, whenever he's taking her on all those dates, and they keep showing up to different restaurants and the bar and the Russian dancer, whatever they're called, the teaching him
Hmm.
to dance,
The
and somebody,
Cossacks or whatever. Yeah.
yes, the Cossacks, yeah, and he's somebody's trying to kill him, and it's following him around. There's no
That's
silence,
right.
or there's no words. It's all silence and just like background and what's going on in the scene. There's no words being spoken.
Uh-huh.
And it made me think of that too, oddly
Ah.
enough. I don't, and just that old vibe, old movie vibe. And then,
Mhm.
so then she like gets done with her shift. We see her go home, and then same thing happens to her. She gets murdered and she gets bit and drained. And
Mhm.
I liked that too, because it felt like a slasher, because of the mystery, because of we don't know who's doing it, even though, their weapons are in their mouth, they're not using a
Yeah,
knife
and
kind
you
of
also
thing.
saw, Louisa, very early on bare her fangs. So you know
Yes.
she's the vampire. Right when she starts her relationship with, Karen, she bares her fangs, and then they go for, I think it's literally 5-minute long love scene.
There's
It's
a couple of them.
there's a
There's a
couple
couple of them.
that are just too long. I mean,
Too
like,
long just to take up
they're
space.
beautiful, but we don't need 5 whole minutes of this.
Just them kissing. There were a couple of
Writhing.
times where them legs opened, and I was
Mm,
like, "We're
mm.
getting everything right now, right now."
Hello.
Hello,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
Oh my goodness! But yeah, they went on a little too long. I was like, I get your point, I get it. Hmm.
We had but it was only women got killed, right? It was that old old trope of, like, just the women are getting killed, and for no good reason, outside their women. So the gal at the beginning was a woman. The cousin Karen eventually is also, made me mad because I liked her.
Yeah, I liked her.
And
Yeah,
then you had the dancer, and then the hotel worker, who was brought down to the count
the
as a
count.
as a snack, I think.
That scene was really awesome. Like, I
Yeah.
think that was probably my favorite death, and the
Mhm.
most impactful, really, because she just brings her down there, like you said, just like a little snack. But like I don't know, the coffin's open and she pushes her down and she's like flat on him and he just latches onto her neck and holds on and starts draining and then the coffin closes.
Closes.
I was like, "Oh, that is dope." I really liked that. It made me think of Nosferatu. There is a scene in it where it's
Mhm.
just like prolonged sucking.
It's so effective. It's prolonged sucking.
In a vampire movie.
I like how effective that is. Like they don't have much of a budget, and closing that lid made it
Yes.
scarier than if you
really
saw the fangs
did.
dig into the throat. Yeah, I like that
And
a
I
lot.
think maybe too some of that vampire witchy juju, mind juju comes into play because why wouldn't she just like, you know,
Oh
jump
yeah,
up and run away? So she has to, fangs and his old frail arms can't be enough to hold her there, in my
yeah.
opinion. I think he's got to be using some mind
Some
stuff.
sort of, or Luisa still has control over her because she brought her down there to begin with,
Very true.
and she and like so. There's another movie that Luisa and the grandfather Count are in. They're in another vampire movie together, previous to this one, but of course they're just repeat players. They're not actually reprising any roles.
Right.
And that was the one I probably should have picked, and I'm blanking on it right now. Uh, I'll come up with it here later. But the the vampire, the head vampire, he cracks me up because he's just this old fella with his great hair and his high collared, stereotypical red velvet black cape.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't say a word through the whole thing, but he does kind of like speak without speaking. So I think he's got some sort of a mental connection to Lucia,
Mm-hmm.
his
I think
granddaughter.
So too. Yeah.
So she's kind of doing his bidding to a degree, I
Mhm.
guess. But it's, yeah. But the whole thing is wrapped around a mystery. This detective and this reporter are trying to figure out who's causing all these deaths. And you're right. They're literally leaving bodies laying all over the place.
Yeah.
Like on the beach. Like, didn't they find 2 bodies on the beach? The
Uh-huh.
same beach?
Yep. And then it's always like a scream and then they're dead.
Mm-hmm. Budget. You got this much budget?
Okay,
This is
yeah,
what you get.
true. Yeah. I'm just thinking like,
So
dead.
as I've read about Jess Franco, one of his famous things is the zoom lens. Did you get motion sickness at all on his overuse of the zoom in this movie?
No, I really didn't actually. I didn't even notice it, honestly.
Oh my god. It's once I read that, I'm like, oh yeah, he's just zoom all the time. And he would zoom when they were in bed.
That's what I was about to say. Now it makes sense. I'm thinking of it
There's
then.
a lot of we don't need that. You don't need that.
Like I said, up close, legs are spreading.
But I saw everything.
Everything.
I did like a lot of the countryside. Like we did get these even at 81 minutes, there was a lot of fat you could have cut out from this movie. This could have been like a 60-minute, probably 50-minute movie.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, if you wanted to really cut it down. And there, was quite a bit of the countryside. And I wonder if this didn't get a really nice cleanup, a nice 4K, if some of the scenery that they had, boy, it was these. I don't think they were sets. I think this was all location.
It had
shooting.
to have been, yeah, because it looked
the low budget. You just don't.
Once again, I mean, just
build this
like
stuff.
if you think of it of a Hammer movie, I mean,
Mhm.
might not have been the biggest budget, but damn, the sets were great. Same thing with Empire movies.
Mhm.
Think like Castle Freak and The Pit and the Pendulum, movies like that. The Empire made. The stories aren't all that great. Well, Castle Freak's good. That's the exception. Or even fuck, Radu. What's that movie? Subspecies.
Subspecies.
Subspecies. Yeah, like even that. Just settings are incredible for such a low budget movie. And it has to just be filming overseas, filming in Europe, like you said, just
That's where
that
they all
that's their
live.
norm.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
they're used
Yeah,
to.
you film in Hollywood, you got to make that set, but you film in Europe, I'm sure there's a castle laying around that you can just
Yeah.
use, right?
Yeah, in any direction for that matter.
Right. So I really like the scenery. Like there was a couple of times when Karen was walking around kind of in the courtyard, just strolling around
Yeah.
for no
yeah,
good
yeah.
reason, but
Mm-hmm.
to stroll around and filler for the film.
Yeah.
There was like she was on a veranda at one time just looking over this countryside, and boy, I'd like to see that for realsies. Like give me a Dances with Wolves cut of this where it's just the countryside and all these the clouds and the trees and just the hills that make everything up. I think that would add quite a bit to it. Whereas where we watched this on Tubi, it was a pretty bad transfer, I think.
Bad transfer. Somebody had that on VHS and popped that in. Just like with that
it's
Day of the
bad.
Dead copy that was on there. I don't know if it still is now, but there was a copy of Day of the Dead on Tubi for the longest time that looked like literally somebody put their VHS tape in that they had it recorded on and captured it
on their phone and then uploaded it to Tubi.
Yeah. It was so rough. So rough.
Oh no.
Well, you know what's going to be even rougher?
Mm-hmm.
Our bladders if we don't take an intermission and a restroom break.
I like that idea very much.
Let's hit some commercials.
I want to bite your finger. It's a Dracula game. Just set the clock. Just try your luck.
If Dracula's cape opens, you have to put your finger in his mouth and press the lever. If he leaves a mark on your finger, you have to start over again.
He didn't bite me!
If you can sneak all the way around Dracula's house, you'll win the game.
You're not supposed to bite people.
It's a Dracula game.
I want to bite your finger from Hasbro.
I imagine Sandy once belonged to a vampire called Boris.
Sandy.
And Sandy was his loyal companion. The two of them were inseparable. Every night, while other dogs were fast asleep,
What shall we do tonight?
Boris and Sandy played. And had fun. Until one night, everything changed. Boris realized just how much Sandy missed other dogs. So eventually, he came to a decision.
Please, Sandy. Please.
Even though it broke his dark vampire heart,
Take care of him.
he knew that every dog deserves their time in the sun.
Please.
I mean, why else would someone give up the greatest dog in the world?
Okay, we're back. Pete,
Yeah.
do you have any? Are you like feeling confused? Do you have any questions about what's going on?
One of the funny things I found about this movie, the detective that's trying to figure things out is, first of all, he just doesn't want to be there. And I don't know if I don't know if that's the actor that doesn't want to be in this movie.
Probably just
'Cause
be
at one
collecting
time-
a paycheck.
At one time, he's like snuggled up in a chair talking to his prime suspect, and it looks like he's about to fall asleep.
Yeah, he's about to take a nap.
At one time, the detective even says, the reporter asks him, "Don't you want to catch this killer right now?" And the detective turns around and says, "No, I like to take my time."
I remember him saying that, and I was like,
No, you don't want to take your time.
no,
The longer you
not
take,
at
the
all.
more bodies show up.
I mean, on one hand, you want to take enough time to like make sure you're doing the job right as a detective. You don't want to just like, what's that
Yes.
saying? Like, lead with your intuition instead of leading with
Mhm.
facts, or actual evidence kind of thing. So you don't want to necessarily go that route. But yeah, I pinged that. I was like, that was such an odd thing to say in that moment.
He was
You
a
should
he
be
was a
wanting to catch him.
he was the worst detective ever.
The
And
worst. But then the one guy, he did know his stuff about,
Mhm.
like, he had to have at least known the lore of the Carl
I
Steins.
did that turn out to be the hotel owner's husband, the one she was cheating on?
I don't know. Could have
Because
been.
the guy that knew all the lore, right?
Yeah.
He goes to the detective and says, "You're barking up the wrong tree, son. This is supernatural. This isn't a serial
Yes.
killer."
Right.
And the
Uh-huh.
detective blows him off. Like, nope. This is a serial killer. We'll find him or her, whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, it turns out in the end, it is supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's also funny that at the very end, the detective is there helping them kill the head vampire. And we'll get to that later, but
Yeah.
he sees it from beginning to end, from like it's a regular old run of the mill serial killer to, oh shit, it is a vampire. How about that?
Yeah. So there's like three kind of, I guess, stories, or like three different kind of plot lines going on at the same time, which is
Yeah.
the lesbian vampires,
Mm-hmm.
the detectives trying to figure out who the murderer is,
Mm-hmm.
and
Well, the newspaper guy, the reporter.
yes, trying to figure out, well, no, the detectives trying to figure out who, like, that's like we're following them too to figure out
Mm-hmm.
who, like, we're on the mystery with them.
So I remember the detective, and
Yeah.
folks, we're so sorry. This is an incredibly confusing movie.
It is,
And
yeah.
the subtitles were so bad, and there's no. Go ahead, Google
Go check it out.
Daughter of Dracula. Good luck finding information. The
Yeah.
only information I found was on people that had reviewed the DVDs. So it's that's
Okay, dang.
yeah.
I couldn't even find that.
Yeah. I think Kino Lorber had a 4K release of this or something.
Mhm.
But I
Oh,
can't
I
imagine.
remember we also had the Count was like also going off on his like side quest, which ended up blending together with, the mystery of what was going on. But then also you can think back to like, well, she showed up in the first place because her mom was dying. That's what
Right.
the seller is in the synopsis.
And I know Charlie is going to hate this kind of a movie because
yeah.
it doesn't follow any vampire lore that's ever been established.
It does.
So they're running around in daylight.
Yeah,
The
true.
vampire disease doesn't spread.
Yeah.
Which just made me. I'm like, I was rooting for Karen, Luisa's cousin. I know
Mhm.
that's a little weird, but
Yeah.
I wanted her just to turn into a vampire, and then
So
she
wait,
and
they
Luisa,
can't turn?
I don't know. None of these victims turned, and then Luisa
True.
killed Karen, her lover, at the very end. So I think Karen was human all the way up until the end, when Luisa finally bit her and ended her life.
Oh shit. I didn't even think of it like that.
Because they had that second extra long
love
sex
scene.
scene.
Yeah, extra long. I was like, damn. All right.
Oh my!
I get
word.
it.
They're very nice to look at. I get
Yes,
it. I get it.
they
I
were
get
very
it.
nice.
I think Jess Franco was more of a pervert than a dirty old man.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
To bring that back to an earlier conversation. So that was my take on it, as far as.
Yeah, because I honestly I wasn't even thinking about the fact that the victims, like all the people that died, yeah, they were bit and they didn't turn.
There's like most vampire lore, there has to be, as Buffy the Vampire Slayer puts it, there's this whole sucking thing. So
Uh-huh.
you have to drain them, and then they gotta drain you, and there's this just sucking thing. So, so if that was on the table, then Louisa did not do it for Karen, which is a shame. And usually, even with just a monster movie, there is some sort of a, like with mummies, they're usually being controlled, or with Frankenstein's monster, it's monster run amok.
Yeah.
With Dracula, he's trying to establish a foothold elsewhere. There was no sort of plot like that at all. She's just a monster running around eating people,
True.
and her grandfather is in the basement who can't get out of the coffin for some reason, and she brings him snacks. So there's not that. My biggest frustration with this movie is that there is no end game for the monster. There's no, like, I'm trying to survive in this crazy world of 1972 or whatever.
See that's what the Vampire Lovers was, because there are aspects of that that remind me of this, or I should say, there's aspects of this that remind me of the Vampire Lovers, like especially with how close the two girls got, the two ladies. The Vampire Lovers, like she was kind of getting with everybody, but that one, she really did kind of fall for that one, I think, in the end. And then there are elements of just like her going around and doing shit and being in a big house, and a bunch of other characters being there and ending in a really like odd way. So there's a lot of the same kind of vibes going on with both of them.
I'm a big proponent of vampires. I really like that movie, and it could be so like a good remake. I hate to say it. If you do it the right way, it'll be great. Of course
Yeah,
it will.
it'll be great.
That's
Of
the
course it
dumbest
will.
thing everyone's ever. Anyway, if
Of
you
course it
say
will.
like, oh, you know what? If they do this movie right, it'll be great. Of course it will, dumbass. Ugh.
And if they don't do it right, it'll suck again.
Right, again. But they were so close in the in vampires. I can just see like adding a couple things here and there. It would be just this great cult classic. In this movie, I think there's just too much missing. I think it wants to be two things, Anna. It wants to be this lesbian vampire movie, but it also wants to be a giallo, and they don't do either of them right.
Right.
Jess Franco doesn't do either one particularly well. He does the lesbian vampire stuff really well because he's done it time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
Has he ever done a real giallo? I don't see his name pop up in the annals of giallo films.
He's probably seen Argento's work.
Oh, sure. Yeah, for sure. Who hasn't at this point? And this might have been him trying something, and it just you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
Ew. How about I don't do that again?
Shoo.
I didn't mean that wasn't on purpose.
Shoot.
I just think these two genres could lap. I just don't think that Jess Franco did it very well.
Right.
What I think there is something very cool about a giallo that has a vampire as the killer. That would be pretty cool.
I was just thinking that. Like
Yeah.
that's a really great premise.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, I'm kind of wondering if that new Dracula movie might be something similar to that. Remember we talked about that recently in the Slack, like maybe a month or two ago, and you were like, hey, did y'all know about this? And Dad had actually just shown me a trailer for it. And then it's like the guy who plays Dracula's the weird brother in Get Out. I think he was also in like maybe the X-Men movies, the First Class, the newer ones. And he's also an Antiviral, the Baby Cronenberg movie. But he plays Dracula, and I think Lily Collins is one of the ladies, but it seems kind of like giallo-y and like more sexual than even Nosferatu that came out a couple years back.
Which was a good time.
Nosferatu was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that Mummy movie too. Did you see that?
Dude, I saw a trailer for that.
James
One of the
Wan.
most recent times we went to the movie theater, so I had to watch it, and I was like,
Mhm.
damn. Even
it's
Marley
coming
was
out
like,
then.
because she thought it was going to be scary.
Ah,
I was like, I'll go then. I don't care. It looks good. I'll
I
watch
bet
it.
it's scary. I hope so.
Hell yeah.
So, anyway.
But yeah. So this all culminates at the end with the detectives
Yes.
trying. So the one guy who's like our lore keeper, if you will,
Mhm.
he figures out or knows the ritual of purification.
Sure. He sure does. So this guy has throughout the film, and here's another flaw of this movie, is there are a lot of characters that aren't named very well.
No.
Like they don't all have like even you, Anna, at the beginning as we started talking, we're like, now what's the vampire's name again? I don't really was her name Lucia?
Uh-huh.
Right.
It's hard to remember.
It's just not, they are not named, and their names aren't memorable enough. So, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, this guy's kind of been peppered around, as you were saying, and he's kind of been this fly on the wall. Is he I think he's the secretary of Carl Stein, the human Carl Stein, the guy walking around with a cane.
Yeah.
The main suspect.
Yes.
I think he's the secretary of him, which is a big job because if you're a count, this guy's in charge of all your money.
Yep.
And the estate and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
But not only is he that, but he is also a lore smith. He knows vampire lore, or at the very least, he knows the Carl Stein vampire history, or supposed vampire history.
Yeah.
And he spits that out quite frequently and is said, it's nonsense. That's all stories.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they make their way to the basement where Grandpa Count is snoozing. And they open the casket, and I'm sure at that moment he's thinking, another snacky.
Mm-hmm.
But nope, it's definitely not another snacky.
Mm-mm.
It's them with
it's a meal, because it's a steak.
It's a steak. But I see what you did there.
But he doesn't stake him in the traditional manner.
No.
And how does he get staked?
I don't, honestly don't remember. I just remember him being on fire.
Squat in the forehead.
Head. In the
right
head, okay.
In the middle of the forehead, this reporter guy puts this wooden stake and all you see is the head of the stake and the hammer. Because it's such a low budget, you don't see it go into his melon.
Right. Yes. Okay, I missed that. And then he was on fire.
And so he's dead. But just to make sure everyone is dead, the police officer that didn't believe them that this was a vampire comes down there and pours gasoline on everybody and lights them all on fire.
Okay, man, I totally must have spaced out at the end or something, or maybe dozed off for a second.
It happens in under a minute, Anna.
Yeah,
it's not your fault.
Okay, good.
It happens fast.
Because I just remember thinking, holy shit, he's on fire.
Yeah. And I don't even know where Luisa is. I keep saying Luisa, I think. I don't know where she went. I
just don't understand.
She totally disappears.
Why she killed her? They obviously were in love or cared about one another, and she even says, you will never betray me.
Mm-hmm.
She already has.
Yeah.
And then kills her.
Just kills straight up.
Why?
If I can't have you, no one will have you. And just murders
gross. These lesbian vampires are very misogynistic, Pete.
Those are words I never thought I would hear.
I know. You never thought. First time. I doubt it'll be the last.
Boy, Anna, that's the movie, man.
That is the movie.
There's
It is a
not
quick watch.
there's not a lot of meat on the bones. And I was telling Anna before she watched it, I'm like, there's not a lot to this at 81 minutes, 82 minutes, give or take.
Yeah, hour 27, something like that.
There's maybe 55 minutes of actual movie and then 40 minutes of being able to understand it because of the terrible subtitles.
Yeah, I was so confused a lot. Like I said, and just having to like go on vibes and kind of what was happening to lead up to that. And, you know, sometimes you got to fill in the blanks and just assume,
Yeah.
you know what they're
And
talking about.
I watched it a week ago or so. I think I told you when I watched it. And then I dug all week long looking for, like, it's not even on Wikipedia. Like, you usually go to Wikipedia and you'll get a plot, right? Nope.
That's
not
crazy.
on Wikipedia. On IMDb, you get the back of the VHS, and that's it. Like,
yeah, there's not even much on there either.
Nope. So a couple of the DVD reviews on like Diabolique, I think is one of them.
Oh yeah,
Diabolique or something. They had a pretty good one.
Nice.
That it didn't walk you through the entire plot, but it hit the downbeats well enough that I'm like, all right. And then I watched it again and I knew where to fast forward. Like, this is a nothing scene. This is, oh look, they're naked again. I'm enjoying this, but I don't need to see that again because I already seen it once. It was enjoyable the second time around, much like Vampires was more enjoyable the second time around. But unlike Vampires, there's not a lot to chew on, where Vampires, I think, is just so close to being a masterpiece, a real genuine cult classic. And this one is just, it's a big nothing sandwich.
Yeah, I'm honestly used to it by now, though. I mean
movies
that
I pick. Thanks.
Well, no. These ones of the vampire / lesbian persuasion. I'm used to. I'm like, I know what I'm in for when I watch them, you know. And every now and then, one of them might surprise me and give me something a little more than.
I'm gonna make us watch Only Lovers Left Alive. We're gonna watch that.
What I was about to say earlier is after Daughter of Dracula went off, Tubi just kept playing earlier. I'd put it back on again. And Daughters of Darkness or Daughter of Darkness, something like that came on. And I walked in the room and I was like, my God, it starts
going on here.
Yeah, right off the bat. I was like, good Lord. Good thing nobody was in here at all because I didn't know what Tubi was playing. Tubi, you did me wrong.
If you want your algorithm totally
it's fucked.
flipped upside
Mine's
down
fucked.
on Tubi, search and watch this movie on Tubi, and then it will start suggesting films that you're like, what the hell is this?
What is
Vampires
this?
Lesbos is a pretty good one.
I need to watch that one.
Yeah, it's that comes out of the gates pretty fast. I think the Universal trilogy of the Karnstein, the Vampire Lovers, Lust for Vampire, and Twins of Evil, I genuinely think those are great films that have a very, very sexy ness to them.
Yes.
The Twins of Evil are actual Playboy twins. They were twins that posed for Playboy.
No way.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Peter Cushing's in that one also, and I find that one a lot of fun. There's a dynamic in that one that I wasn't expecting when I first saw it, that I really, really enjoyed. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to spoil anything. That's pretty easy to find online.
Okay, cool. Well, we are to the portion of our show where we talk about our non-rating system. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Instead, Pete, I shall ask you, since this is a late night show, was this movie worth staying up for?
Well, there's plenty of nudity in this, so yes, but there's so much slow dialogue with terrible subtitles that I think I would have fallen asleep pretty quick regardless. I mean, we get woman in bathtub immediately.
Full
So
bush.
oh my
Mini
God, yes.
bushes.
Oh, there's full frontal in this movie. with what Anna was saying earlier, we're getting to some spread legs almost. Oof. And there were these long love scenes. I'll call them love scenes because they were lovers.
They were love. Yeah, they
It
weren't
wasn't it wasn't sex. It was love.
Yeah, they were lovers.
But they watching them in the day, it's like, oh my God, that's a little long. I can't watch this at work.
Yeah, definitely not safe for work.
Was it worth staying up? Yeah, it was worth staying up for. Yep, I would have. I think 50-year-old Pete wouldn't have made it, but I'm pretty sure 20-some-year-old Pete would have made it.
Oh hell yeah, you would have wanted to see how it ended.
Yeah,
in more ways than one.
Yeah. How about you? Is this one worth staying up for?
Yeah, I'll say yes. It was fun.
Really?
I mean, it was fun. Like I said, at this point I know what I'm in for with these kind of vampire movies. So I just go with the flow with them and pick out what I can.
Extra weird one for me.
I will say though, and this kind of leads into our next question was, would you watch it during the daytime? I started watching this movie in like the afternoon time. And then I paused it and came back to it at night. The sun was down. Like it was like bedtime, comfy time. So I finished it that way and I found it was much more enjoyable. Just kind of that comfy late night vibe, even though it was like 9:00. So yes, I would not watch it during the day. This is strictly a after hours movie.
I agree 100%. Like that opening scene, immediately, if it's 1:00 in the afternoon, I'm turning it off. Like, I gotta save this.
I gotta save this for another time. Another place.
This is 2 beers in, and let's put in something dirty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would not watch this during the day. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it during the day, but this isn't something I would choose to watch during the day.
Agreed. I agree. Well, that was episode 2 of After Hours.
It is episode 2, a little shorter, but it's just not a lot to talk about. Yeah. That's okay. That's all right.
But these episodes are not timed. We might talk for 2 hours. We might talk for an hour. It just depends on the movie.
Organic, not orgasmic.
Organic, yeah. Well, do you want to know what my pick is for May?
You know what? I've been poking you for. Wait, hold on. That's the wrong word to say. I've been. I've been
bugging you.
Bugging is the better word for a while, and I've even thrown like, "Oh, it's this movie. Oh, it's this movie." Anna's been teasing, just dropping little crumbs here and there of what she's picking. And it's just, for whatever reason, it's got my brain running. Like, I'm gonna figure this out. And I've thrown like 24 movies out at you, and you giggle I can hear you.
He can hear me.
I can
6
hear
hours
you.
away.
6 hours giggling like, nope. Like, God damn it! I got to be close. So. Yeah, I guess we got to find out what in fact that you are picking for next month, episode 3.
So episode 3 might get me in trouble.
I hope so.
I know you're a bad influence. That's why we're here now.
Look. If it gets in trouble with us, boy oh boy. Who cares about Charlie? No one cares about
Charlie. Nobody cares. All right.
I'm always in trouble with him.
Pete, I know, right? Me too. So, Pete, are you familiar? And I think I know the answer to this. Are you familiar with the work of the great David Cronenberg?
Well, sure. I sure am. I know quite a bit of his work. He's a fucking master at his craft. The Fly is one of the great films of all time, and shockingly better than the original.
Yeah,
His
it's one of
version.
those, rare ones.
Oh God, are you going to do like Videodrome or something?
No, this one is okay.
You kept teasing something about cars or fast or something.
So
Like this
I
is what you've
said
been leading
today,
me.
I said in the Slack,
Tell the whole story.
I said in the Slack, I said, fun fact, I just realized today that the movie I'm picking for next month would actually work for Need for Speed.
So I asked if it was Cannonball Run or Rat Race. Or...
Yeah, Speed Racer. Yeah, Ed came in and said that. Okay, so in 1996, Daddy Cronenberg, which we lovingly refer to him as,
dead,
and he's not dead, Charlie.
R.I.P.
Be quiet. You hush. In 1996, he helped write and he obviously directed the very hunky James Spader. My God, James Spader in 96 was like cream of the crop.
I don't understand it.
He directed this NC-17 movie called Crash. I sent you a link to that like a month ago. I was like, have you ever seen this? And you were like, no.
You did? Oh my God, I remember you sending that to me. Like, no, I ain't seen that.
And I sent the little devil smiling. I was like, that's it.
Cronenberg, NC-17. Oh my God.
Can I read the synopsis to you?
Please.
Okay, so here's the synopsis. A car crash victim suddenly finds himself turned on by car accidents and becomes involved with an underground subculture of like-minded souls.
Oh no. This is going to get us into trouble, isn't it?
I love that just by that synopsis, you're like, yeah, we're screwed.
We're going to get the NC-17 plastered on our logo.
Charlie's
going to
make he's going to make a graphic. He's going to stamp. So yeah, we're going to be reviewing 1996's Crash, not the Crash from the early 2000s with all the famous people in it. This was the one from Cronenberg.
Can everyone follow along? Is this easily accessible?
Oh yes, actually, it's pretty.
Is it Our Lord and Savior Tubi?
Actually, you have to rent it, but I found it pretty easily. I think it was somewhere else when I watched it last year.
Library.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guarantee you, it's at the library. I found it somehow.
It's Cronenberg.
I can't remember. But it's one of his, like, everybody I feel like who hears Cronenberg thinks horror or body horror.
Boom.
This
just got at the library.
Did you get it? Hell yes. Yeah. Yay. We're not even done. Easy peasy. This is body horror, like in a very weird way, but it's not like.
Whoa. This is weird body horror from Cronenberg. Like Cronenberg body horror isn't already weird.
This is like even weirder. This is like
society weird?
Yes, this is like society and like sexuality really weird. I think it'll bring up honestly like an interesting conversation of just like the why. All right, but I'm not going to say anything else.
I hope
y'all go watch it. Go rent it. Sorry, I picked one that's lesser easily or however I say it. Blah, blah, blah. Not as easily accessible. There we go. Do y'all have a new episode for Good Beer, Bad Movie Night this month?
We actually this Saturday, well, whenever this is released, doesn't matter. In a few days, we are recording Time After Time with Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
And
I know
Clara from Back to the Future Part 3, and I'm blanking on that gal's name. And they're actually married. They're married in real life, or were at one time.
Okay.
You'll recognize the cover. This is a VHS staple cover.
Okay.
You will know the cover when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Kathleen unbirthday pick because her birthday is the same month as my birthday, so we split it up, and this is her birthday pick. So Time After Time, 19. 7, I forget. I forget. Time after time with Malcolm McDowell.
Very nice.
And what's going on with the Barons?
Barons, let's see, we're into April. We're kind of all over the place. By the time this comes out, we'll have covered Eddie and the Cruisers, which was not a horror movie of any kind.
But it's awesome.
I'm going to continue to give Little D shit for it for a long time. This is the new Project Metal Beast. In the episode, I'm like, nope, it's not a mystery. It's not this. I was like, it's a musical. It's a musical.
Yep.
Oh, I love you, Little D. I'm just kidding. But then after that, let's see. I would not have been on that episode, and I think it's called Edge of the Axe is the name of the movie. I hate I'm having to miss it. It's actually the very first movie Little D ever recorded.
Edge of the Axe.
Yeah, from the 80s, I believe. His first movie he ever did on the show, and he was wanting to redo it now, but unfortunately with scheduling and stuff, I'm not going to be able to. And then I know we've got some other fun stuff coming up at the end of the month that I think aren't set in stone, or if they are, I'm not as privy to, so I'll just wait.
It's just
But that's a great segue that you can follow all of us on social media. The Barons Hideout, Good Beer Bad Movie Night, us here at After Hours Cinema, Give Me Back My, we've got a new, if you were already following Give Me Back My horror movies, that has now changed to Give Me Back My, the podcast. And then Give Me Back My action movies. Charlie is still keeping around for the action-centric stuff. Last month, we debuted the first Need for Speed episode, which I think was a very nice hit amongst the show.
It's a dumb, wonderful movie.
It
Need
is.
for
It's
Speed.
dumb and fun.
It's a.
Oh wait, no. Need for Speed's the name of the show. It's Days of Thunder is what they covered. For Need for Speed. Yeah. Need for Speed will be what's covered on Months with 5 Tuesdays, and it will be some kind of like car vehicle centric.
Charlie, I want to be on a movie called The Car and a movie called Rubber.
Rubber. I've heard of that one, but I've never seen it.
Maybe that's what you and I need to cover.
Hopefully Charlie will watch Crash, and maybe he can bring it over there.
That's a good idea.
Please don't watch it. I don't want to be in trouble. B Action just ended Mickey's March Madness, and I think I don't know what's going on over there right now. I think just the standard B Action, where they put the B back in action.
B Action, that's all it is.
So yeah, you can follow us everywhere. We'll see you guys next month with some Daddy Cronenberg goodness.
Daddy Cronenberg.
Pete, Captain, it's great to see you again.
Captain.
We got to hug in person and see each other.
I saw you in person.
Pete ruined the surprise. It was okay though. It was still great.
My hat ruined the surprise.
My reaction though, because I smacked Dustin and I said, "Was that Pete?" And he's the worst liar, dude. The worst. He looked at me with a smile on his face and goes, "What?" And I was like,
"Huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah." But it was so great to finally give you a big old hug in person and meet Jody.
Do it again next year, I hope.
Yeah.
If not sooner.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. We're going to try to come back up in September. I think it's pretty much set in stone. Because we've decided that even if there's not any celebrities like that we're too crazy to see, which there are at least bound to be a few, we can at least focus on the film festival and see the short films and stuff like that and the features. So
totally worth it.
Yeah, that's going to be our plan for September. But until next month, Anna and Pete for After Hours signing off. Thank you guys. You've been a lovely audience this evening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Oh, jeez.